Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome to the video. Today's video is going to be a special one, and you may already know that's because I'm detailing my own personal truck today. Something you don't know is that a few months back, I traded in my 2012 Ford F-150 that I had for nearly 8 years as I bought it brand new, and I got my absolute dream vehicle, a truck that I have always loved, and that is a 2019 Ford Raptor.
Now, as you can see, I had a little fun with it in the mud a few days ago, and it desperately needs to be washed, so that's what we're gonna do today. But taking a look around, and the pressure washer is definitely gonna get a good workout today as the wheel wells are completely stuffed full of dried up mud. The wheels are covered in mud too, especially inside the barrels. And then as you can imagine, the underside of the truck saw some action too, and all the front suspension components will need to be sprayed off really well. Now, as far as the interior goes, I really don't ever let that get very dirty, so it's currently nice and clean. So given that, this video will be an exterior only detail to get the Raptor looking sick again, and you guys will definitely want to stick around to the end to see how incredible it looks. But just before we dive into all the mud, take a second and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. As you know, I post lots of different kinds of videos here than what you'll see on the main channel, so if you've got the bell on, you won't ever miss out on one of those.
All right, well, you guys have seen just how dirty the Raptor is, and in case you were wondering, no, it didn't even break a sweat while I was getting it that dirty, but it has been absolutely killing me to have to leave it like that for a couple of days. So we'll get it all cleaned up today and looking sweet again. And as always guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
All right guys, so starting on the pre-wash rinse here as usual, and obviously this step is going to be the most important one here, as it's imperative for my own sanity that I get all the mud off the Raptor. Mudding and off-roading isn't something that I did with my old F-150, but when you have a truck as capable as a Raptor, it literally begs you to take it and get it dirty. So me being the nice guy that I am, I obliged and took it to play in the mud. Okay, so moving to these super muddy wheel wells, and thankfully for me, Ford is smart and doesn't use carpeted wheel well liners in the Raptor, although I have to say I probably wouldn't ever buy a truck that had them. But anyways, getting these sprayed out is still gonna take a fair bit of time as the mud is thick and heavy and really stuck on. Although with each chunk that falls off, I get a little happier inside, and it's almost cathartic in a way, as I can't stand to have a dirty truck like this. Moving to the wheels, and you may not know, but these are what's called beadlock wheels, and they're an upgrade over the standard ones as they allow the rim to basically be bolted to the tire, which is really important for doing any off-roading, as it allows you to safely let the air out of the tires to get more traction for things like rock crawling, because without them, if you let too much air out, you can actually lose the bead on the tires and they can slip off the wheel, which would not be good. But all that aside, the inside of the barrels had about an inch of caked on mud in them, so I have to be very, very thorough to make sure I can find all the mud that's hiding in them. So as I spray out another wheel well here, I figured I'd give you some background on the truck. So like I mentioned, it's a 2019 Raptor and I picked it up back at the end of December. And right now it's got 2,400 kilometers on it, which is about 1,500 miles. I really don't do a whole lot of driving. And in terms of the truck, I got it pretty well as fully loaded as they come, although one thing I didn't get was the hood graphics, mostly because I wanted to see more paint as I love the color so much. And for any of you who don't know much about the Ford Raptor, it's part of their performance lineup along with the Ford GT and Shelby Mustang, and is essentially a decked out F-150 that is purpose built to go off-road, has a twin turbo EcoBoost engine pushing a massive 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. So needless to say, it's an absolute blast to drive. Now you guys might notice how well the water is beating off the paint right now, and that's because the instant I got the truck, I ceramic coated it with CarPro C-Quartz UK 3.0, and I also coated all the exterior plastic trim and wheels with CarPro Deluxe, as well as coated all the leather inside and the carpet. Basically every inch of the truck is ceramic coated, so when she's all cleaned up later on, you get to see just how amazing it looks out in the sun. Now, one of the nice things about the design of this truck is that I have pretty good access to spray off underneath the truck, including the front skid plate, which actually had some pretty big chunks of mud on the top side of it, and then moving to the wheel well. And this is exactly why all trucks should have plastic liners, because it's a total breeze to get these sprayed out. So like you guys saw in the opening shots, there was quite a bit of mud all over the front suspension. and I'm certainly not going to leave any of it in there, so rather than using my undercarriage sprayer as I usually would, I'm just using the pressure washer as I need to be able to vary the angle I'm spraying at, and in a lot of cases get in really close, which isn't something the undercarriage washer can do. And as you can well imagine, the inside of the tires were covered in mud too, so with everything else on the truck sprayed off, I'm going around now and hitting the whole underside and really taking a close look to make sure that I don't miss any mud. Here's a look at all the mud sprayed off the Raptor, and in case you're wondering, yes, there will be a garage cleanup vid down the road. Alright, with the Raptor painted white with thick foam, I'm going around with a boar's hair detail brush to get into all the places my wash mitt will miss, especially up on the hood vent as dirt loves to collect in those crevices, but the brush also works especially well for honeycomb grills. So if any of you out there are looking for a set of high quality detail brushes, the link to the ones I use are in the description for you. Moving on to the wash stage, and for my own truck, I use CarPro Reset soap as it's formulated for use on ceramic coatings, and then I also have a dedicated wash mitt that's only used on my truck. Now, one of my favorite things to do on my truck is dress the tonneau cover with 303's aerospace protectant because it makes it look so incredibly good. But for all the other exterior plastic, like I mentioned earlier, I coated it with CarPro Deluxe, so there's nothing more to do to it as it already looks as good as it can. Now, to boost the gloss on the paint and maintain the ceramic coating, I'm using CarPro Reload, which is something I do every couple of months, and this is essentially a silica spray sealant that can be used on its own, or in this case, to maintain a coated vehicle. And the application is really easy as you just spray some on, spread it around, and then buff it off. Now for the tires, I'm using the usual CarPro Pearl, diluted roughly 2-to-1, and after spraying it on, I'll just simply wipe off the overspray off the rims, and in case you're wondering, I typically just let this air dry.
All right guys, and 4 hours later, I've got the Raptor demudded. It's looking better than brand new again. Now I absolutely love having my truck detailed and looking perfect like this, so it's probably gonna be a little while before I take it in the mud to play again, but if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Enjoy the guitar outro, and I'll see you guys in the next one.